Hi, my name is Khaled Kteily, and I'm the founder and CEO of Legacy. So it all started in 2014. I was working as a management consultant, working in healthcare, and I had a pretty bad accident involving some very, very hot coffees and very, very hot teas. Spilled all over my lap, I got second-degree burns, I had to be hospitalized, and it took me about a month to heal. And during that period, there was this brief moment of fear that I might not be able to be the husband and father that I always imagined myself being someday. And so I decided to go and test and freeze my sperm at the local sperm bank, just to make sure that everything was still okay and that, maybe I could preserve my sperm for the future. Everything about that experience was extraordinarily awkward. From the way that you walk in, they hand you what they call the specimen cup, the very intimate questions they ask you, that small room that you have to go into with the pornographic materials and the time pressure. You have 10 minutes to produce the sample because someone needs to use the room right after you, and you're there and you're trying not to think of anyone else who's been there and what they've been doing and what you're touching and any of the above. And I came out of that experience and I got my results a week later and everything was okay. And I just felt this, this profound sense of relief. First of all, that I would be able to have the kids that I hope to have someday, but just this feeling like this is an industry that is still living in the 1970s. Why has nobody come in and tried to turn this into something that is affordable and convenient and accessible, and that's something that for men they do because they're young and healthy and want to invest in their future, not because they're going to this clinic because they're sick. And this was the idea that stayed with me for so long. The study comes out in 2017 showing that male fertility, sperm counts and sperm concentrations had gone down in the West by 50 to 60%. And I realized, this is it. This is the data point that is going to change the conversation around male fertility. Because the reality is, we have talked about fertility all of our lives as a women's issue. The burden gets put on the female partner in relationships. But we know that in couples that face infertility, it's just as likely to be coming from male factor infertility as it is from female factor infertility. And I kept coming back to this idea that if you normalize this, if you make this easy, if you make this affordable, men will want to step up, be part of the conversation, shoulder some of the responsibilities around family planning and conceiving and ultimately being good parents. And this was my vision always for Legacy. And so that was really, call it the seed of the idea back when it was just a glint in my eye. What a decade these 3 years have been. The company has grown a lot. So we started off just me. It was me at a coffee shop in Boston. We grew to 3 individuals. We went through Y Combinator in the summer of 2019. It's a very competitive startup incubator. We raised our first $1 million from Bain Capital Ventures. That was a big milestone from us because it was the first point at which investors came to us and said, yes, we believe that you're going to build a multi-billion-dollar business. You're going to create a new industry, which is always what we had wanted to do. And over the past few years, at this point, we've now raised about $20 million. We've brought on some of the world's best investors, so Bain Capital, First Smart Capital, Section 32, Y Combinator, and others. We've even brought in celebrity investors. So Justin Bieber recently invested in the company, DJ Khaled invested in the company, The Weeknd, Orlando Bloom, a few other folks as well. We grew by 7x in 2020. 2021, we're on track to grow about 5x. We're about 30 folks on the team. We've built out a clinical research team. We have a chief medical officer. We have an amazing fertility nurse who works for us. We have a head of research. We have multiple lab directors. We've taken our business to the point where we own almost every part of the operation from start to finish. And that part is particularly important because it allows us to provide the best level of care for our clients, for the people who we care for. And we've built out new products and services for them. So you can now come in and you can still get the same semen analysis or sperm freezing that you would have been able to get before. But now you can do a DNA fragmentation test. You can test for DNA damage in your sperm. You can take our supplements. You can engage with some of our coaching. You can talk telehealth with any one of our nurses or doctors on staff. We're well funded, we're fast growing. We've got an amazing culture of over 30 folks who are really passionate about what we do. And we are building out that whole experience, those products and services that is going to help us give people the freedom to choose what kind of family they want, when they want, and how they want.